Show is on the air. This is your Hollywood radio reporter coming to you from the Little Theater at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios, bringing you Judge Hardy's family in Life Begins for Andy Hardy, with Louis Stone, Mickey Rooney, Fay Holden, Ann Rutherford, and Judy Garland. Life Begins for Andy Hardy picks up the Hardy family story where the picture Andy Hardy's private secretary left off. Andy, you'll remember, has just graduated from high school. It's a momentous period in the Hardy household. To quote Mrs. Hardy, it's come to the day when a fine, manly young fellow wants to go off into the world and find out if he can fly with his own wings. Andy, in a philosophical mood himself, declares that he has arrived at life's most important crossroad. Judy Garland, as Betsy Booth, that child from New York, thinks longingly of her dream man and expresses her feelings in a song. Listen.
I know too well that I'm just wasting precious time in thinking such a thing could be, that you could ever care for me. I'm sure you hate to hear that I adore you, dear, but grant me just the same, I'm not entirely to blame for you, dear. So easy to love, so easy to idolize, all others above, so worth the yearning for, so swell to keep every home fire burning for. We'd be so grand at the game, so carefree together, that it does seem a shame that you can't see your future with me, 'cause you'd be, oh, so easy to love.
Thank you, Judy. Now back to the Hardys. It's 2 a.m. Andrew Hardy slips off his shoes, cautiously opens the front door, and tiptoes into the Hardy reception hall.
Good morning, Andrew.
Dad. Up kind of late, aren't you?
Aren't you getting home kind of late?
Having graduated from high school, I've got a right to stay out as late as I want. Haven't I?
Oh, obeying your parents is now kid stuff, eh?
Well, certainly not. Not about the important issues of life. Gosh, it's hot tonight.
Andrew, you meet me in my chambers at 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Was something serious?
Yeah, it's one of the important issues of life. Your future. Now, you get yourself some sleep and pick up those shoes.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my neck over this book you left on the floor.
Oh, thanks. I guess Mom was so excited about graduation she forgot to pick things up.
Pick things up? You expect to spend the next 50, 60 years of your life with your mother waiting on you?
Well, I should hope not. Someday I plan to have a little home of my own someday.
That's what I want to talk to you about. I didn't figure on settling your future so soon, but something requires quick action. Well, hello, Bob.
Hello, Jim.
This is my son, Andrew. Andrew, this is Dr. Wagner, president of Wainwright College.
I'm glad to meet you, sir.
And I want to meet you. So naturally, Jim Hardy's done rates pretty high with me. I understand there's a chance we may have you at Wainwright College for the next 7 years.
7 years. Yes. Well, Mr. Wagner, maybe you haven't looked me over thoroughly enough. Maybe your college might prefer to turn out a tall lawyer.
Well, the best goods come in small packages. You know that, Andrew. Well, Jim, you make formal application for Andrew if you decide you want that scholarship.
Thank you.
Goodbye, my boy.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Jim.
Bye.
Dad, how long did it take you to be a lawyer?
4 years in college and 3 more in law school.
Gosh, couldn't you learn the difference between right and wrong any quicker than that?
It was actually 10 years before I was earning enough to keep body and soul together.
10 years?
Yeah.
Oh, by that time I'd be 30, and I've always planned to retire when I got middle-aged. Now I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, that's a serious problem. Suppose we sit down and have a good long talk after dinner.
Something very personal, confidential, and intimate.
Well, yes, Betsy.
How would you feel about eventually having me for a daughter-in-law?
Well, when the proper time comes, Betsy, dear, there's nobody I'd rather have.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Hardy. Oh, you've taken years off of my shoulders. Andrew's my jewel, although he doesn't know it yet. And if he's washed off that Benedict barbarian, maybe I can pull myself into her late lamented spot.
Yeah, maybe, yes. Many a man found his true happiness on the rebound.
Oh, I don't care whether I grab Andy on the rebound or the second bounce, as long as I grab him.
Yes, I know. I felt just that way about his father.
What do you say we tune in on him? He's talking to his father, you know. They're settling his future.
Well, Andrew, the decision is yours to make. How will you attain the full richness of life?
Well, I want to get the full richness out of my life. Question is, how?
Well, the law is a stern mistress. But every man in this country is endowed with magnificent rights and privileges. When you come right down to it, it's in my court they get those rights.
Oh, but 10 years. The next 10 years are the best years of my life.
Mm-hmm. At any age, the next 10 years are the best years in a man's life.
If I could only try the other way first before I made up my mind. Maybe, suppose I got myself a job.
Well, if you're going in for the law, I'd hate you to miss this scholarship. We've got to apply inside a month.
Oh, can't I use that month to find out? Couldn't I have that month and go maybe, say, to New York and get myself a job and find out what life's all about on my own?
Andrew, honey, you can't go off to New York by yourself. Why, you're hardly more than a baby.
Mom, Betsy will think you mean that. Well, you know I'm 18.
Of course you are, son, but your mother can hardly realize that it's 18 years since you were so little and soft and pink. And I was washing you in a basin.
Mom, that kind of talk isn't respectable in front of a child like Betsy.
Listen here, Andrew Hardy. Last month my cousin had a baby, and she let me take care of it all by myself.
What is this world coming to?
It's come to the day when a fine, manly young fellow wants to go out in the world and see if he can fly with his own wings. Like his father did once. Like my father did once. And like your son will one day want to do, Andrew. Betsy, we going to finish those dishes or not?
Gosh, Dad. Isn't Mom wonderful and understanding?
Yes, Andrew. Your mother so wonderfully understanding that by tomorrow she'll be claiming this scheme as her own idea.
Oh, Dad, you understand that. I hope you understand. It isn't that my home life is beginning to pall.
Yeah. I know. Well, then we'll just call it settled, huh?
Yeah.
I suppose you'll be wanting to leave him right soon.
It just goes to prove if you live right, you get your reward right here on Earth. Andy's going to spend a month in New York, and that's my own particular backyard. Sort of like magic, isn't it?
Yes, Betsy, it's magic. The magic of life.
wants me to be a lawyer. But I'm not sure I want to waste so many years of my life. No, I've been toying with the idea of being a captain of industry.
This is one of the big crossroads of life, Andrew. Well, goodbye, Andrew.
Goodbye, Polly. Oh, I suppose this isn't goodbye forever. Perhaps our paths will cross again.
Well, I might even be married when we meet again.
Polly, when I get married, I'll tell my little wife what a sweet little girl I used to go around with. And, well, she'll be glad because, Polly, in my adolescence, I might have gone around with a different kind of a girl. You know, the kind of a girl where there might be regrets.
And I'll tell my husband that there never was a sweeter boy than Andrew Hardy. Except him, of course.
Well, you might give me an even break with your husband.
Well, goodbye, Andrew.
Goodbye, Polly. May life quickly bring you happiness, prosperity, and a ripe old age.
Crossroads are kind of sad, aren't they, Andrew?
Life has its tragedies. So, goodbye, and if this is goodbye forever, Polly, then goodbye forever.
Your rubbers when it rains, and watch out crossing the streets. And positively do not speak to any strangers.
Well, outside of little Betsy here, all the people in New York will be strangers to Andy.
Gosh, Mom, what do you want me to talk in New York? The deaf and dumb language?
Well, you know what I mean.
And, Andy, if you get in any tight corners, don't hesitate to telephone me immediately.
No, Dad, I'm on my own. If I get into any jams, why, it's up to me to get myself out. I want to feel that there's nothing between me and starvation and my own initiative.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Hardy. When I come home, my mother's going to flutter like mad that I came home so soon, but I'll be there, and you can rely on me to the last drop of my blood.
Got your money in an inside pocket, son?
Yes, sir, where the pickpockets can't get at it.
Well, goodbye, son.
Bye, Dad.
Now, remember, give it a good, fair trial, because if you decide to be a lawyer, I want you to do it with a clear mind.
Well, I want to be sure, because the next 10 years are the best. Goodbye. Bye, Mom.
Goodbye, darling.
Bye, Aunt Millie.
Goodbye, Mrs. Hardy. Goodbye, Mrs. Hardy. Goodbye, Miss Forrest. Goodbye.
Well, goodbye, everybody. Don't worry about me. I admit I got into a lot of complications in my young life, but that was when I was practically a kid. Now I see everything much clearer now, and I'm never going to make any more mistakes. Bye.
Bye,
Bye. Take care of yourself.
Bye,
Betty, you take care of him, won't you?
Today I am a man.
I'm mighty proud of that young man.
I wonder if he should have had some more money.
I gave him an extra $10 this morning.
I gave him $5 after lunch. I gave him 8 myself.
Oh, Mother, I thought you'd accepted this going-away business and were reconciled to it.
If being reconciled to your son going away means you can't cry, I can't see any point in being a mother.
Now, Emily, wipe your eyes, please.
I guess that's the hardest thing a mother has to do. Wipe the tears from her eyes and the years from her heart and see her little boy's a man.
So Andy Hardy has arrived at life's most important crossroad. Just which turn he's going to take is something Andy will decide for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard Louis Stone, Mickey Rooney, Fay Holden, Ann Rutherford, and Judy Garland in several of the opening scenes of the motion picture Life Begins for Andy Hardy. This is your Hollywood radio reporter saying thank you for listening.